Hey man, what's up? It's Cool Water, the digital dope man, coming to you live and direct. Barroom Chats podcast, where we focus on topics in the areas of entertainment, politics, culture, education, business, things of that nature. I'm sitting here watching the Shark Tank, and I actually did a video and podcast on the Shark Tank about a year ago. And the premise for me doing it was basically around the fact that I felt like the Shark Tank was racist and biased about who and what they worked with. So what brings me back again to talk about the Shark Tank is I'm looking at this particular subject, this particular entrepreneur who was a young Pakistani and East Asian, I'm going to say East Indian girl, but she favored more on the East Indian side. Pakistani, somewhere in there. Young girl, age 20, who created a website called Savvy that dealt with price negotiation for clothing items and possibly jewelry and shoes and whatever else that she had negotiated with the retailer. The site was cool, wasn't nothing major about it as far as I was concerned. There's other sites out there. Amazon, they do the same thing, to a degree. But what got me going is, the Shark Tank is big on one's background. They wanted to know the girl's background. They wanted to know what the girl had been through. What's your story? Because that's the selling point, for a lot of entrepreneurs is the story. What journey are you writing as you become the man or woman that you are supposed to become? So the girl had, I think, went to MIT and picked up some coding experience through going to MIT, in which case she got with some developers, or she may have done it in high school, got with some developers, young high school cats, and they created a similar style website to what she has already, and built it out, but it didn't really go too far. And in the midst of that, she deferred 4 scholarships, one of which was to the University of Michigan. And then she made a comment about she ended up leaving home, moved to North Carolina to work with gang leaders to help them learn how to pursue their entrepreneurial endeavors and become leaders, and her learn how to be leader, how to have leadership and be a leader in the area of business and management and creating jobs and probably whatever else she came up with. So immediately, the egotistical giant Mark Cuban, once he heard she was not, he asked her, was she going back to school? She said no, she didn't have intentions on going back to school. He immediately said he was out, because his thing was, there's so much you don't know. And by you not willing to continue your education, so to speak, I'm not investing in you or the product that you offering. And then Kevin O'Leary comes through and he speaks to the subject of, have you made any money? What dollar amount? And then she said she hasn't made any. And then they're saying, well, how many They asked her how many people had she had subscribed. She had 2,000 subscribers, and they said, well, how many retail stores? She had 1,000 retail stores. So once again, and then even Lori made a comment about, that she felt like when she started asking her and saying certain things, she didn't know the language. She didn't know the terminology. She's 20. She got a good foothold on something, but it's not good enough. So, what really irks me about Shark Tank and the egotistical white male, white female that's on this show is that you ain't never quite good enough unless they somehow or another can see a way to exploit you. So now, Daymond, like I said a year ago, they typically let Daymond work with black entrepreneurs, some of the scrubs that come through there, because he's always getting the leftover deals, the deals that don't nobody really want. They let Daymond get that. So here's this East Indian girl who has the ability to code. She created bots. This is how she is able to gain subscribers. She created a coding that allowed her to be able to go into Instagram inboxes and Facebook inboxes and get people to subscribe to what she was offering, which is phenomenal in the sense that she's able to build a subscriber list of 2,000 people that actually are subscribed to what she's offering. But nothing ever seems to be quite just good enough for the entrepreneur that has some melanin in their skin when you come on Shark Tank. Because Mark Cuban has an ego. He big, his nuts is big. He got a big dick. Kevin O'Leary, you know what I'm saying? He got a big dick. His head is bubbling. Lori is probably the most sensible out of all of them. And at times Barbara can be too, but Barbara sometimes she rocking with the ego shit. It really makes me question the real intent, because at the end of the day, I've seen them guys offer mentorship, things of that nature to certain individuals because all she needed was to know the language. And sure, she'll probably go back to school once she see that, okay, this is operating right. This is how it is. Money coming in. Okay, I got to continue my education, because East Indian folk is big on education. Their culture is big on that. If they ain't got nothing else, they got PhDs. They got probably more doctors in their culture than the Asian community do. Doctor, PhD of education, a PhD of medical, or what have you. But these dudes and these chicks on here, man, they smelling they self, because they multi-millionaires and multi-billionaires. And again, you sitting back and you can only question, what's your real intent? What's your real intent? You know what I'm saying? When you keep denying people that got melanin in their skin the opportunity to bubble. It's only a few black folks and people of color, i.e. Asian, and maybe a Hispanic or two, that have actually came through the cracks, got a deal, and boom, they bubble. But you never see the update. Like, I ain't seen an update yet, except for the dude with the rib meat packer who played in the NFL, who Daymond hooked up with and they pushed it, showed an update of kind of what was going on with his business. And it may have been one more. But typically, most of these folks, man, they ain't getting no shine and they don't get no deal. So I can only wonder if they're constricting the tunnel for folks to be able to get on with the Shark Tank. Because again, she 20. She got a talent. It's marketable. She had a product that was marketable. And maybe it was too early. Maybe it wasn't right now for her to, but at the end of the day, there was still an opportunity to educate, teach, and then help upgrade. But again, everybody that's coming through the tank, man, they got a little color in their skin. They're getting shunned. They're getting pushed to the curb. You know what I'm saying? So what I say is racist, like I said a year ago, yeah, I'm going to say it's racist. Well, I say that they biased. Yeah, I'm saying they definitely biased. Everybody's biased. But I will say that they're racist because they only play to a certain demographic. And the only demographic I'm seeing they playing to is white folk, because there's not a lot of black folks getting deals on the Shark Tank. I ain't seen, and I'm sure it's a bunch of them that's tried, but a lot of them guys ain't even making it to the front door. I've seen a few come through. If it was a percentage, man, over the 5 or 6 years or 7 years this show has been on, I would say, man, if they've had over 800 to 1,000 entrepreneurs come in there, I would say 2% of them been black. So maybe 20 blacks out of 7 years have came through and got a little play. You know what I'm saying? But nothing major. The Hispanic community, I seen, I wouldn't even say it's lower than that with them. The Asian come through, you know, like I said, the one girl came through in the past. She had some great stuff going on. She wanted to do the save the world routine while doing her entrepreneurship. Mark Cuban talked about her like a dog, man. You know, you gold digging and all this and the third. So, you know, it makes me wonder if you all playing, you know, the game in such a fashion where you the elitists and you trying to keep the door closed so that don't nobody come in and taint the well. Everybody coming through, they looking like you, because y'all trying to enrich and continue to enrich your community, and you don't want to enrich nobody else's community, because then that creates competition. You see what I'm saying? If you can dig on that. So I'm going to pull off of this thing, man. But again, I'm noticing, like I said, the East Indian girl, I think the presentation was pretty good. The website, you know, I get it. The concept was there. It was cool. You know what I'm saying? Some of the footwork had been done, but she didn't know all of the language. She didn't have no sales at the particular moment and when she came through. But again, she looking for the outreach. She looking for the come up. You know what I'm saying? But then as soon as they heard her story about the stuff that she was doing, her passing up things because she was trying to go for broke, which is what these white folk be telling you to do anyway. All of a sudden now she getting shunned, Kevin dropping out, Mark dropping out, you know what I'm saying? Daymond, he dropping out, Lori trying to make it simple and dignified with her explanation of what the situation is because you don't have sales, blah, 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 I'm dropping out. It's just another hocus pocus, man. It's some bullshit. Because I done seen y'all take white folk, young white girls, young white males who has nothing. They didn't have no sales, none of that shit. And y'all mentored them up. Y'all put them under your wing and you rock with them until you got them where you need them to be. See? So I ain't buying it, man. Hey, man, this cool water, man. The Digital Dope Man, I'm out. Check me out at ishiphopdead.com. Look for the coming website, thedigitaldopeman.com. Also be on the lookout for Who Killed the Black Entrepreneur, the lecture series. Peace and stay blessed. Holla.